I started at St. Anthony Medical Center in 2018 as a CNA. A year later, I became a nurse, and I witnessed firsthand how quickly events can unfold that can lead to patient harm. Mental health and illness affects every single one of us in healthcare in one way or another. It is a crucial piece to a much larger picture to the key of awareness for patient safety. I have walked in the shoes in each one of these players in the scene. I have been the patient. Just weeks earlier, I was a CNA, and now as a new nurse, I was there to witness my patient try to commit suicide. We had taken every precaution, or so we had thought. The patient had a one-to-one sitter, and both the sitter and I had a great rapport with this patient. CNAs who sit with suicidal patients are a nurse's biggest asset. For 8 to 12 hours a day, they listen to stories, they build bonds, and they see behaviors that us as nurses may miss because we have obligations to our other patients. When we communicate in front of these patients in the room, it can be awkward. It can also be isolating. These CNAs and patients have just built up relationships that can now alienate the patient when they hear us talk about them. It is also our responsibility as nurses to care for our sitters and CNAs. Give them relief. Let them use the restroom, or just ask them to step out for a few minutes to stretch their legs so they don't get sitter fatigue, so that they can more focus on our patients and patient safety. When I was a CNA, I never thought that that could happen to one of my patients. But yet in the back of my mind, it was always my biggest fear. As a new nurse, that fear never went away, and now it never will. I took this situation very personally, as I had cared for this patient the evening prior. I believed that we had built a relationship fostered on mutual trust and understanding. I was also assigned this patient the evening after the event, which I was dreading, but I learned a lot about myself in that third shift. In that 12 hours, I learned that I too was a survivor. I never want any of you to go through what I went through. So my message to you is that we are never too busy to use the tools that are provided for us to care for our patients and keep them safe. We have our huddle tools and our handoff tools, and now we have the Sitter S-Bar tool, which is our direct line of communication to our sitters to make our team stronger for our patient. We can use this new tool without compromising dignity and compassion that every patient deserves, no matter why they're under our care. I get it. Extra documentation and filling out paperwork can be hard to remember, but you know what is impossible to forget is that guilt of responsibility that I felt that night going home. And even worse, the isolation of not being able to talk to anybody about it. I challenge you to go the extra mile, to hold each other accountable, because together we are stronger. As a collaborative team, we will always serve our patients to the best of our ability with the greatest care and love.